I'm going to prime the stencil because that's how I get the stencil so sharp. I typically do a horrible job on stencils, but ever since I learned this trick, I've done really good at them. And doing light coats rather than real thick or anything. If I do it thick, it comes out terrible. And when I'm pouncing, if I like go like that and hold it down for longer than just pouncing it quickly, then it seeps under the stencil as well. So don't push down too hard. Just lightly pounce it. Pounce, 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 pounce. And when I'm getting the paint out of the can, I'm wiping the pouncer off and then going lightly on a paper towel before I start pouncing. And even though it's white, it's going to make a difference when it comes out because we're not just leaving it white. We're going to do 2 coats of priming, maybe just 1 if we get a good coat the first time. Given the fact that we have to do it lightly, I don't know, but it might work out and only have to do 1 coat. The trick is that it's putting paint within the stencil, so it's going to be raised. So whenever we do whatever color paint we're going to do on top, which I'm going to mix with calcium carbonate to make it chalk paint, whatever it be, because I have mostly acrylic paints, but I want to use chalk paint, and I don't want to use black either. I want to use a color, or maybe a gradient of colors, so we're probably going to have to mix up a lot of different paints on my palette. But that's okay because it's worth it. It'll come out really pretty, I'll show you. But the fact that it's going to be raised up within the stencil because the primer is a layer thicker than what we started with, it's going to be raised up and it's going to help the paint not seep under the stencil. Like needless, yes, it does take a couple coats because we have to do the coat of primer, and then we get to do the coat of paint. But it's worth it because the stencil comes out crisp, especially for those that aren't very good at stenciling like myself. I'm not very good at stenciling, but it happens to be that when I stencil like this, it comes out really good. And you're going to get some primer on your fingers because you got to hold the stencil down. And even though I taped it down, it didn't tape down straight. And if you don't want any bleed, you got to hold your stencil down where you're pouncing it. Now I'm going to let this dry like this. Clean up a little bit. I'm going to seal this paint again, and then I'm going to try to connect these videos together. While I have the primer open, I left this beaded garland out because there was a couple spots that weren't primed that I want to get primed. I keep missing spots because of the lighting and the natural color is hard to see. But now it seems like there's a little better lighting in here, so I was able to see the natural bead show through that I had missed before. little of the orange too. I want to make sure it's primed completely by the time we paint it so that it doesn't chip off and it show the orange or anything. And I'm going to do a top layer of clear when we get done with all this on each thing, so it'll help keep it quality painted and decrease any risks of the paint chipping or getting scratched. Okay, there we go. It should work now that I have it on parchment paper, because I had it on paper before, but it was the paper in the Amazon shipping, and every time I pulled off the balls, the garland, it would pull up the paper, and then it messed up the paint.